Hello, everybody. Welcome to Straight Talk, Place Overseas podcast. I'm Nafisa Kopçiç, your host. Great to have you with us in this another episode. In this show, we will look into one of the biggest questions many Dubai investors are asking right now. Is Turkey a good place to buy a second investment, second home, and potentially a place where you can get a second passport? As always, with me here is Cameron Deggin, someone who knows very well Turkish markets and who can give us the best advices out there at the moment. Listen, Cameron, we already talked about how Dubai is a magnet for investors from all over the world. Guys, you can watch our other shows on that. Why is it good to get into Dubai right now if you're not already there? But in this show, I want to talk about something else. Why are we seeing this trend of a massive number of Dubai investors coming here in Turkey to invest and looking potentially to get a second passport?
Thanks a lot, Nafisa. It's a very, very interesting episode, hopefully this will be. In fact, I was in Dubai last week, and in Dubai, we met quite a few clients from all over the world. These are Dubai investors, people, seasoned Dubai investors, by the way. In some schools of thought, you would probably call them high net worth individuals. These are people who have been investing in Dubai for quite a long time. Some of them even reside in Dubai. Most of them do not. They just invest in Dubai. So they park quite a significant portion of their profits or their hard-earned capital in Dubai for obvious reasons. For Dubai has continued and persistently delivered for investors. And if we look at the last 5 years in particular, prices in Dubai have doubled in some areas. A lot of people have done very well. So it appears, well, it's obvious rather than appears, that Dubai for sure ticks quite a lot of boxes in terms of investment and return on investment, provided you tread carefully and provided you know what you're doing. There are pit holes in Dubai. And in the next 2-3 years, there'll be more and more pit holes a lot of steam has accumulated, prices have gone up significantly. So as an investor, one needs to play carefully. That said, kind of like a little summary, then the question is, why is it that a lot of these people I see and I saw, they highlight the need for, let's say, a second passport? Well, it's very simple because Dubai does not give citizenship. So you may have invested significant amounts of money in Dubai over many, many years. You may have the 10-year golden visa, which is the longest, 10-year golden visa, or the 5-year investor visa, but you never will get citizenship of Dubai. So you're never going to have a passport, a citizenship outside your home country that you can actually pass on to your children, you can pass on to your family, or you can use as a strong base for future family planning.
Cameron, thanks for putting all that in context for us. So you mentioned here Indians, Pakistanis, you mentioned Chinese, South Africans, Americans, and now even Europeans. What's driving them to come here?
Here are the main reasons. Number one that I see, safety. Safety. If you look at these countries, you can see that a lot of these people have, I think, very strong incentives for obtaining Turkish citizenship and hence Turkish passport that they can pass on to their children, pass on to their families and their children. Once you have it, it goes down the line. You're Turkish citizen, your children, your grandchildren become Turkish citizens. For family planning, safety planning, because if you look at these countries we mentioned, maybe with exception of Europe and America, arguably there are sort of political issues and other concerns that these people have. And so they're looking for a safe passport that they can pass on. Mobility. Some of these countries have got less access to worldwide destinations. So Turkish passport gives them increased mobility, very easy visa protocols for many, many countries in the world. It certainly gives them the ability in the future to plan for a permanent base in a country where East meets West, a country that embraces all walks of life, all cultures,
Right, a country
all
that's a NATO
backgrounds.
member, G20 member.
Exactly. So there are a lot of benefits. Tax is most certainly one of them. Okay, we're not going to go into much detail there, but efficient tax planning is one of them.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
Okay, I want to look a little bit more into these benefits and the values of Turkish passport. So you mentioned mobility. I mentioned the fact that Turkey is such an important country when it comes, it's a G20 country, it's a NATO country. But let's talk about other benefits beyond that, beyond the travel and mobility, inheritance. Let's talk about long-term stability and what else is driving this appeal among Dubai investors to come and buy a second home and look for a second passport in Turkey.
Okay, I think as far as the incentives are concerned or the motives of people buying Turkish passport or investing in Turkey for that, I see a way of life or future planning as one of their top on their list. Turkey certainly is perceived, and it is a neutral country. It's a country that embraces all cultures, whether whether you're a Muslim, it's a Muslim country for Muslims. Okay, whether you come from a European or American culture. It has the cafe culture, the street culture. When you walk in the streets of Istanbul or in Antalya or in Bodrum, without a doubt, you will find a lot of things you're familiar with, a lot of things that you would call home.
Right,
and familiarity, home. And people go for these things. So it's an embracing neutral country that a lot of people, albeit they may be residing in Dubai for now under the 10-year golden visa, albeit they may have invested heavily in Dubai, they have a plan always of a home, sense of belonging, a home where their families can reside permanently one day. That's one thing that we all have. We all plan for the future. And I think when that stage comes, Turkish citizenship and Turkish passport, with all the added benefits, whether it is lower tax rates, more tolerant tax affairs.
I would add here location as well, because you can
a central
easily go to Asia, Africa.
A midway house.
A
midpoint for most people. Okay, you can easily access Asia. Europe is within a few hours flight. Middle East is 4-5 hours. I mean, Dubai is about 4.5 hours. It has one of the busiest
airports in the world.
Exactly. So it ticks all the boxes. And also another important point, the inheritance laws of Turkey protect your family and your offsprings for generations to come. So it really fits very, very well for a lot of investors who want that protection. So, all things considered, Turkey is the optimum passport to hold for a lot of these people.
I need you now. I mean, a lot of people will be asking what are the rules, how to get there. So, talk us through the citizenship by investment basic rules in a most simple way, like for our audience.
Okay, I'm going to try and cover the points that really matter, and hopefully I can shed light on some of the points, some of the stages within the citizenship process that can be problematic or may give difficulties to applicants. Now, citizenship by real estate investment can be done in two ways: $400,000 by direct property purchase, where you literally come buy one or several properties valued $400,000 or above, or you invest in a licensed real estate investment fund, $500,000, and immediately apply for citizenship. Both routes have got their pros and cons, and both routes have got their benefits. With the direct purchase, you're investing $400,000 as a minimum, and you own the properties. You can do whatever you like with the properties. You can use them yourselves. You can rent the properties out or just let them sit idle if that's what you wish to do. With the real estate investment fund method, the investment level is $500,000. Arguably, the return on investment will be higher because it's a much bigger fund that you're participating in. It has bigger leverage in the market, so it can buy cheaper, it can generate higher profits, etc. And it is, for the time being, tax exempt, so you don't end up paying any taxes on any gains in the fund, provided you hold the fund for no less than 2 years. In any case, when you apply for Turkish citizenship and you have purchased the properties or invested in a fund, either way, there is a 3-year lock-in period. That's the 3 years after purchase or investment that you should not sell the property. Because if you do, then you lose your eligibility for citizenship. So since you're going to hold the property for minimum 3 years anyway, so the fund will become completely tax exempt. So that's a big advantage.
Right. Yeah.
Now, the process is straightforward, clearly laid out, yet there's a lot of paperwork involved. There are a lot of stages where even a slight name change could get it rejected and thrown back to square one, so the process starts again. So minor little errors or mistakes in the file, citizenship file, could cost you months and months.
Right. So can Place Overseas facilitate that for you?
Well, this is why we always recommend that investors looking for Turkish citizenship should always use a lawyer, and they should pay that $3,000, $4,000 lawyer's fee. It is more than worth it. More than worth it. If you try to cut corners or save a few $1,000s here and there, you could end up adding another 6 months to a year on top of your pipeline lead time. Ideally, if everything goes well, citizenship can be granted within 6 to 7 months today. As I said, there are quite a few stages. Some of the important stages that investors should know is that when they purchase a property, it is not only the $400,000 they pay, but the valuation of the property should also be minimum $400,000. And that's where people may encounter a lot of issues.
Are there any misconceptions that Dubai investors should be aware of?
Well, are there any misconceptions? I wouldn't say misconceptions, but there's a lot of misinformation out there. For example, not all properties qualify you for citizenship. Certain properties that have certain type of zoning, I won't go into much detail, will qualify you, and certain type of zoning, such as certain agricultural land, will not qualify you. You have to purchase a property from a Turkish citizen or a Turkish company if in the prior, if I'm not mistaken, 5 years history of the property, there is another non-Turkish citizen owner, that property will not qualify for citizenship. And also, as I said, you've invested $400,000 or $450,000, the valuation has to come minimum $400,000. And this is one of the most important points I have to make that can cost a lot of waste of time. Certain areas, even within Istanbul, notoriously deliver lower valuations than others. For example, what we find is that central Istanbul will always deliver higher valuations than, say, suburban Istanbul. There are reasons for that, to do with land valuations, value add calculations, etc. Let's not go into that. But central Istanbul tends to give you much, much higher valuations. We have even seen cases where the valuations that came were higher than prices our clients actually paid, which is amazing. Places like Bodrum, Antalya, Fethiye, the South Coast, Paradise, Mediterranean resorts notoriously deliver much lower valuations. Again, there are historic reasons of declarations, value add calculations, etc., etc. But generally, the pattern is that the Mediterranean, like place in the sun, the Mediterranean home may qualify you for citizenship, but you're going to have to spend quite a bit more to get that 400,000
That value. Guys,
valuation.
it's not because it's my podcast, but this is really interesting.
So so all these
so
things
many
are
interesting.
really, really important. So this is why when our clients approach us for citizenship by investment, the number one question we ask them is not, oh, what type of property you're after, etc. No. The number one question we ask them is this purely for citizenship and investment, or are you also looking for a home now or potentially in the near future, a home for you and your family to move to Turkey and to be a part of Turkey, or to use it as a strong second home? Because if you're looking for a home at the same time, then most certainly there are many other considerations that come into searching for a home. But if it is purely citizenship and investment, return on investment, then you got to take a very logical, very rational approach and go with where you're going to get your citizenship quickest, you will get the highest valuations, and most certainly where you will maximize your return on investment, because you're parking 400,000 US dollars as a minimum of 4 or 5 years, maybe much, much longer as you wish. So you might as well get the highest return on investment.
Cameron, thanks for sharing all that. But I have to ask you again, can someone do all of this that you mentioned remotely?
Yes, the answer is yes. You can actually provide power of attorney to your lawyer in Turkey, and with your power of attorney, everything can be done remotely, all the way up to granting of citizenship. Then after that, to get your Turkish passport, you're going to have to come, because there's the biometrics, the fingerprint, so your physical attendance is needed at that stage. But leading up to completing your citizenship process, yes. So we can help you as Property Turkey in Turkey, selecting the right property, investing in the right property, acquiring your title deed. Then the lawyer has your power of attorney. With your power of attorney, the lawyer will do all the necessary checks, will appoint the independent surveyors to come in and carry out the valuation of the property to make sure that it is 400,000 US dollars as a minimum. And all the other steps can be done remotely with power of attorney. And I'd like to add one thing. We would only request you to make full payment after all those checks have been done. So you're not going to be paying anything and then realizing that, oh, the valuation is less than 400, or, oh, the properties I selected are not suitable for citizenship. Why did I just buy them? No, you're not going to buy anything unless and until you get the go-ahead from your lawyer that all the checks and ticks are in place. Only after that. And yes, you can do everything remotely by entrusting us that we will select the right properties for you, properties that we would have vetted in advance, and we would have a very, very good idea as to their valuations, their rental prospects, etc., etc. The answer is yes, in a roundabout way.
Okay. You mentioned return of investment. I want to talk about Turkey market and 2026 year ahead. Which areas should Dubai investors and all those who are looking to get a second passport look into in more details? Which areas of, let's just say not Istanbul, but Turkey in general, now it's a good place to look for investment, that Place Overseas and your teams are suggesting?
Okay.
So if I come in, let's do a pretend play again. If I email you saying I want to get second passport and I want to also have a high ROI, where should I go? And for example, let me
No,
make
I
it.
like that line.
You
Continue
like that line?
That. You are inquiring. Go on.
I'm inquiring. I'm a Dubai resident.
Okay.
I wish sometimes, but luckily I'm actually Istanbul resident for now. So I want to get a property that can get me a second passport, and I want to earn some money along the way. But I'm worried because of all these struggles that we are seeing currently at the markets across Turkey. What should I do?
Okay.
What would you suggest me as my agent? Let's say.
Nafisa, first of all, many thanks for approaching us. First of all, I would like to ask one particular question to
I
you.
watched this amazing podcast with this
do?
host, Nafisa, and I was like,
amazing.
I have to, yeah.
You have to.
She
come in
convinced
there.
me.
Now, okay, can I ask you a question there then?
Yeah.
What is your priority for wanting to obtain Turkish citizenship? In other words, why are you looking to do this?
So I'm looking for mobility. I'm looking for some jurisdiction, safe haven, let's say. And I'm looking into tax as well. I'm looking into the future of my business. Where should I start?
So you're basically looking for a safeguard. You're looking for a plan B that is a friendly jurisdiction, taxes and all. Mm-hmm. They matter. Of course they do. Who says they don't?
That, not me.
All right. Taxes and all. And a safe jurisdiction that will give you mobility and at the same time that will allow you for future family planning in a country where East meets West, in a country which is indeed the center of the world.
Exactly.
That's what you're looking for. Am I reading you right, Nafisa?
Yes. I'm looking for a strong passport that will give me all of this and to my family.
All right. Well, okay. Nafisa, you have actually been, let me tell you something, and now this is going to come to you as a surprise. You have been a client of ours. Well, not a client because you never actually did any business with us, but your first inquiry with us was 7 years ago. I looked you up. Mm-hmm. I looked you up in our CRM. We have this amazing CRM that we keep for the past 20 years. I looked you up in our CRM. Your first inquiry was 7 years ago. So it took you 7 years, it seems, to move from your first initial browse of the market to actually taking a solid step towards investing in Turkey and obtaining Turkish citizenship by investment. Why did it take you 7 years? Very quickly. I mean, I'm trying to understand you, Nafisa. For me,
this is a pretend play, by the way.
Our clients is key. But this is exactly the way we talk to our clients. It took me... we need to understand.
I was busy. I was focused on other things. Maybe I wasn't looking that much ahead, but now I am. And maybe I just wasn't sure which passport as a second passport I want. Could
it be, Nafisa? Could it be? And I want you to be honest here, because look, the more you tell me, the more I know about you as a client, the better I will assist you. You need to understand this. And this is one thing that our clients sometimes find difficult to understand, because they think that the more they open, the more they tell us, the more products we're going to shout down their throats. No, we need to know why you wish to do what you want to do, so that we can give you the very best of advice.
Mm.
Because understanding your client is key in our business.
I see your point, Cameron. I really do. But can you, people like specifics, and I want to give them in every
I know
show.
you want to, but I'm going to get to specifics slowly.
Okay.
Now, could it be, and I think the reason you're looking at Turkish citizenship now is for all those things we talked about. Because now it's like, now you're at a stage of your life where you're saying, okay, planning ahead, future, family, plan B, friendly jurisdiction, citizenship, sense of belonging, living in a country where you can live 4 seasons in one, literally in one day, in paradise. Yes, it is Turkey. So
Yeah,
now, my next question to you then, realistically, if you ever move to Turkey with your family, when do you think that may happen? Soon, or potentially that's a future plan?
Future plan?
Okay. So that means right now at this point, your main priority is to invest wisely and get that Turkish citizenship, so you have it in the bag. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. In that case, my plan for you would be as follows. This is exactly the way we advise our clients. Some of our clients find it a little too assertive. Some of them really love the way we go about it. And you know what? For those who find it too assertive, I make no apologies. We are assertive. And that's the way we advise our clients. Because you may have been to Turkey once or twice, maybe to Istanbul, like most people, spent a week at the most or 2. But for such a massive country, a city which is close to 20 million population, the largest city in Europe, it will take you a few years to understand the city, not a few weeks, which means you're looking at Turkey from a perspective of very, very narrow information about the country. And you're trying to make some decisions based on that narrow information. Our job is to open that window, broaden your information and intelligence about Turkey, the market dynamics from real estate to lifestyle, so that you can make an informed decision. And what I would recommend for you, of course the choice is yours, is to initially invest in Istanbul, 400 to 450,000 US dollars. Get yourself a decent city center property or 2 properties in that budget. Make sure that you position yourself in a perfect scenario to get your citizenship within 6 to 7 months, and we will see to that, okay? Then for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, however long it might be, we will run those properties for maximum rental returns. And if you wish to sell after 4 years, 3 years, we will exit you with maximum profits on exit. If you hold the property for 5 years, under current laws, you will exit without paying any capital gains tax either.
Thanks so much for that, guys. We speak frankly here. So I hope you manage to find a lot of interesting advices for whatever you're looking for. But in this specific show, if you're looking for a second passport, I think we managed to explain how to do that. And of course, you can always contact Property Turkey, Place Overseas for your tailor-made investment plan, like Cameron just said. And yes, we do things differently. We do want you to share a lot of private information about you.
I mean,
you see, I have to do that too.
I mean, not so private, but we do
but
want information.
In order to,
yes,
we will help you.
Really.
We will help you all the way. Thanks so much, Cameron. See you again next week.
No worries. Thanks a lot. Hope that helped.
It did.